265 257. You can watch us live on Twitch and Mixcloud, and whenever you miss a show, you can listen back via our podcast page at iLiveUK.com. Don't forget to download our iLive Radio Network app from the Google Store and take us on the road with you. It's iLive UK across all platforms, changing the way you listen to radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
Yeah, this is Pyro Bars, and you're tuned into Skillit's World with your boy Ryan Skillit Albert. Stay tuned in.
Yeah, we all know, like, whoa. In London, it's like, when you see something, you see a friend, you have to ask them, wow, blow. You know what I mean? Wow, blow. You know what I'm saying? You see a Chris girl, it's like, wow, blow. Man's running up his mouth like he wants something. It's just like, wow, blow. You want a battle? Wow, blow. When the police pull you over, wow, blow. When you see a guy, you know you tell him, wow, blow. When you see a pretty girl, you ask her, wow, blow. A guy you don't know wants weed, wow, blow. My MPC breaks down, wow, blow. To all my people locked in jail, wow, blow. Some people say they wanna battle me, wow, blow. I listen to their style and I wonder, wow, blow. If a dance is dead and you're paid, wow, blow. If you don't get paid for a show, wow, blow. If your record label rips you off, wow, blow. You get them on the phone and you ask, wow, blow. Taskforce, spit slang that's straight from the soul. I live an English life and I'm here to let you know, wow, blow. In Britain life goes like so, homegrown mic skills, type flows, wow, blow.
I've had enough of rappers and their dreams, wow, blow. I never really known what they mean, so wow, blow. I'm fed up with their schemes for the cash, now wow, blow. What fuckers trying to make me crash, wow, blow. It's now that I let you all know, wow, blow. Farmers straight up in your face like wow, blow. Fuck around with the fam and it's wow, blow. Taskforce, I blow up, pussy, wow, blow. Remember how we showed you last year, wow, blow. When rap was in a black hole, we let you, wow, blow. Involved in my business, I'm welcome, wow, blow. Competitors burn when they're shown, wow, blow.
Spit slang that's straight from the soul. I live an English life and I'm here to let you know, wow, blow. In Britain life goes like so, homegrown mic skill type flows, wow, blow.
Yo, I'm here, man, I'm here. We're back at Skillit World episode 6. It's Saturday the 9th of July. We have Wireless Festival going on. The streets is crazy right now. I sound like a certain DJ, but I'm not going to mention who I'm talking about. Well, thanks, Ems. Speaking of Ems, my co-host Dominic and Ems is in the building. Perfect. And I'm also here joined with royalty, man. UK hip-hop royalty, a legend in the game. I don't care what anybody says. To me, he's a pioneer. Yes, we've had some pioneers that's breaking through in the 90s that was doing their thing to make sure that we will have a voice in the UK scene. But these guys, who I'm going to talk about, I'm going to list a few rappers actually who I grew up listening to that moved a generation, that inspired loads of rappers to actually pick up the mic and be, and they were part of paving the way for what music is today in the UK. I'm mentioning names like Jest, big up Jest. Rest in peace to Ty. Roots Maneuver, Black Twang. There's so many more I can mention actually. K-Lash. Skinny Man, come on man. Radio. I was gonna say Rodney P. Yeah. I'm gonna say Rodney P. But these two, I mean, the guest I've got here was part of a tandem. It wasn't more just a tandem. It was a group, but the two famous ones of the group, no disrespect to the rest of the group, were brothers.
Still are.
Still brothers. No one has passed. Battle MCs, producers, great poets. I'm talking about Chester P, who's not here today, but I'm with Farma G, one of the members of Taskforce. Big up Farma. Who kind of now goes as Farma Beats now, I'm assuming? Or just Farma? Still Farma.
Just Farma.
Man, thank you so much for coming, man. Like, this you have no idea how much this means to me, bro. Like, this might sound a bit gas, but like, growing up, man, I was big into your stuff, man. I was big into your stuff. I was big into Jest. I was big into Maestro. Like you guys led that movement. So thank you for joining today, man.
There was me thinking that you didn't like me.
because of the introduction.
No, because I know you from knowing you, but we've never met, right?
No, we've actually never met. No. You actually tweeted. I think you mentioned one of my songs in one of your tweets.
Yeah, you did a karate.
Yeah, the
karate video.
Yeah,
which was excellent.
Thank you, my brother.
And the track was excellent.
Thank you so much, man. And I appreciate that. So that meant a lot to me. So thank you for joining us today, man.
It's a pleasure.
I want to talk about your beginnings. Because if my research does me right, and hopefully it doesn't fail me. You come from a musical background. Your father was a musician himself.
Yeah,
he was part of the Tourists.
He was part of a kind of, I don't know, they call it new wave punk, post-punk group.
Right.
Called the Tourists.
Yeah.
Which consisted of my dad, my late dad, Annie Lennox.
Annie Lennox, man. Yeah. Listen, they gave Annie Lennox their first thing, man.
And
no way.
Dave Stewart.
And Dave Stewart as well.
Also, a guy called Jim Toomey and Eddie Chin.
That's amazing, bro.
And
he sounds Trinidadian. Where's he from?
Eddie was.
I'll put you on the spot.
Well, I think he was Japanese.
Yeah, Chin.
Yeah, he's a Chin. He's a Chin.
That's an Asian name. That's an Asian name.
Yeah, Eddie Trini.
Yeah, Eddie Trini. For this sake.
But the group were mildly successful in the early 80s, late 70s. Had a couple of albums. My dad was a bit of a sex, drugs, rock and roll kind of fellow, as you can see from the success afterwards.
Yes,
Annie and Dave were much more
kind of
focused.
Yeah,
my dad, like I always say, my dad literally came back from tour with diseases and addictions. That's basically it. Right. So it's like when we talk about as brothers and as our pops.
Yeah,
it wasn't like literally we were just at home, like. Not in such a great financial situation with dad literally on top of the pops.
Right.
So you go back to school and it would be like, yeah, I saw your dad on top of the pops. And it's like, we're just rocking hand-me-downs and monkey boots and all that kind of.
That's very interesting.
So literally he came back and he was ravaged with addictions and all the rest of it.
Right.
And so a great negative role model for two young sons.
Yeah.
And as you know, the two successul, but they were childhood friends, so they all came down here together.
Sure.
And so it went.
So you obviously that because you had that. Would you say the genre was punk rock? Would you say
kind
that
of?
Yeah, it was kind of punk rock.
It was weird. They wanted to be successful. It wasn't really punk. The journalists at the time crucified them for not really being able to be pigeonholed. It was trash, really. It wasn't. It wasn't great music. It didn't represent any individual.
Right.
One of the members, basically.
Right. Sure.
So it was a mishmash. A funny story that no one knows is. You know DJ Yoda?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
right? Quite a famous fellow in the scene.
Good guy as well. Really good guy.
Good fellow.
Yeah.
So I can't remember. I think I posted something on Instagram. He direct messaged me and was like, "Oh, like your dad's in the Tourists," and I was like, "Yeah, he's like literally the lead guy." Like,
right.
And he was like, "Oh, like you must know my dad." And like, there's one person that my mum and dad hated more than anyone, right? And this guy was the manager of the Tourists, right?
Behave. Really?
Fella called Lloyd Beanie, right?
Okay.
Yoda's like me and Yoda don't really like connect
like that.
Really, we haven't connected, but it's all good. It's like, but we've never like said, yeah, I want to hang out together or nothing. But I say he's like, my dad was the manager, and I said, Lloyd Beanie manager, and he was like, yeah, that's my dad. And I was like, oh, so I'm not going to tell this guy.
Small world.
Yeah. So that was an interesting one because I had to think to myself, do I bring it back from my long past dad and just slay this guy?
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you say about meeting up? Like, we'll meet up with your dad, and like, and I just said, oh, well, tell your dad. Tell your dad, like Pete's son said, what's up?
Oh wow. So growing up, you know, all different. Did you have all different types of music influences? Listen, you could from the music you make, you strike me as somebody that's very like equipped and diverse with music. Growing up,
there was a big record collection.
Sure.
Where did you grow up as well?
I was actually born in Norwich.
Norwich, right? I thought it was Southampton. I don't know why.
No, Norwich is worse, but
Okay.
I'd like to have said Southampton.
Partridge is from there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like the tiny percent of me that is really weird is the Norwich.
It's the
part.
I
Norwich
like
side.
Alan Partridge though.
No, he's funny, but he can definitely throw a situation.
Yeah, of course, very awkwardly as well.
That's why I love him.
Yeah, he's absolutely. Yeah, he's
He's a mess.
Yeah, he's a mess. So 1976, I was 2 years old. Came down here and ended up actually just there on Avenel Road.
Sure.
Which,
Stop here. I grew up around there as well before I
Yeah.
went to East. Yeah.
Right, so-
Shard Green Road.
right, so
Look at us now.
I know, mashing it up, slaying life. Yeah, so on Avenel Road in a squat, and then a couple years later moved to Highbury Council, give my mum and dad a flat,
Right.
and my brother was born,
Amazing.
and here we are.
So Chester's younger than you, obviously.
Chester's 2 years younger than me, so yeah, I mean you can tell because he's like awfully immature, and I'm terribly immature.
Because I'm gonna just give you a little bit of flowers because how I found out about you guys. Shout outs to Itch FM.
Yeah, Ezra and Trevor.
You guys were everywhere on Itch FM. You know, I played the tune earlier at the start of the show, Wablo, the Black Rob, the Taskforce version of Black Rob's famous Woe song. That was playlisted everywhere. Itch, Kiss. At the time, I think Choice FM used to play it a lot.
It was mad.
It was
mad.
big
Yeah.
on the streets, big on the road, and I was like, oh, this is sick. Who's these guys? Found out more about you guys on the battle scene. I remember Chester P was doing most of the battle.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah,
Chester
yeah,
P
yeah.
was, your brother Chester P was doing most of the battling. And then I think this is how much nerds we are, me and my family. We used to have like these deal reel tapes. Or was it Kung Fu?
Kung Fu tapes.
Kung Fu tapes, I think
Or
it was that.
Mudlum's tapes even.
And the
There
Mudlum-
was a lot of different things going on.
I just remember Chester just burning one guy on the mic and slamming the mic down. I can't remember the line now.
That was cream of the crop.
Right.
They were cream of the crop.
Okay.
The cream of the crop night was such an interesting night because you had people like Rapscallion,
Sure.
who at that time was a photographer.
Right.
Normski would pass through. You had Shorty
Wow.
Blitz. You had Big Ted. You had DJ 279. You had a Young Roots Maneuver, Black Twang,
Right.
Ty.
Yes.
Hounds of the Baskervilles, Young Berry Crew, Young Mud Fam.
Okay.
And it was literally a who's who. I think you had Sarah in there.
Yeah.
It was a who's who. But those tapes, so that night was run by Cream of the Crop.
Sure.
Sorry. Hounds of the Baskervilles.
Okay.
And they duplicated tapes of the night. And
it just obviously we kind of went not viral, but that type.
Yeah,
that
in
type
its
was
own-
that,
in its own way,
underground
for
way,
its time,
underground
yeah.
viral, and it kind of built a scene. I felt like loads of people from that era all connected.
well, we
through
did
those
because
nights,
none of
yeah.
us had records out.
Sure.
So that's why I'm saying all
Yeah.
those names.
Yeah.
This is before
Yeah.
we all started like putting stuff out. This is
Sure.
before Queen's Heads. This is before Witness to Fitness. This is
Oh, that's crazy.
the primary moment
Amazing.
of
This
that
is
scene.
London music history.
That's what I'm saying. This is the people need to know, man. Because I feel like
Wow.
I just feel like
I feel honoured to have you here today.
no, honestly, because I feel like because things changed within the music realm of that scene. But it's not like you guys wasn't doing things. You guys were doing big things, and
Well,
it was
we were putting on our own nights before.
right.
We were putting on a night called Mudlums, which again was kind of billed as a talent show.
Sure.
But at the same time, we had artists like Ice Pick and 12 Stone and Heartless Crew and like all guys from all over the place.
Right.
So a mix
Come
of
in-
grime and hip hop.
No,
What
this
was
is
it?
before grime.
Was it? Wow.
Yeah, this is before grime.
We're
Yeah.
talking
This is before grime.
97s, 98s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm only 12, but I understand.
okay, well, I mean, the first night that we put on was actually just there as well. Do you remember the Powerhouse?
Yes.
No,
Opposite,
I don't.
you know what's the church now? The big super church. Is that still a super church?
I think it's still a
Mass
super
in
church.
Brixton?
No, just
here,
round here, just round the corner from
in
here.
Finsbury Park.
Yeah.
It used to be called the Rainbow Theatre,
No, I don't know.
right? It's a huge music venue,
Yeah.
Wow.
right? But opposite that was some little crack den called the Powerhouse, right?
I love
And-
London, you know.
It's amazing.
It's our
But it's
history.
all gone now. It's like, so I know they turned it into like a huge super church, and that little place there, I don't know what happened to that, but literally all these little venues, the little nights like the cream of the crops, and then the da-da-da-das and the da-da-da-das, and then it kind of culminated into like kung fu.
Sure.
And lots of other little things, but at that time when it turned around 2000 and Kung Fu started in WKD,
Yeah.
the idea of it being some kind of hub and then it moving to the bigger venue, the Pirates Castle, no, not the Pirates Castle, whatever it's called anyway, in the centre of Camden, and then it becoming like a huge overnight kind of like avalanche of success, where all the artists
Right.
started showing up, your Kalashnikovs, your Terra
Love
Firmas,
Kalashnikov.
your Young Gun, your Braintaxes, all of the, and then Lowlife was born, and
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
I'll let you take the lead now.
Yeah,
so,
if
'cause-
no, that's fine. No, thank you for saying all that.
you set me off, and I just snowball into like
No,
100,000
but
But you're
streams of thought.
educating me, you're educating us. Like, I
Yeah.
know some of this, but you're letting me know, like, some of this literally shaped my culture growing
yeah.
up in this country.
For sure. And so when Taskforce first came together, what? Because if it basically sounds like it's family. It sounds like family together. You're all recording together, clearly making music together,
Yep.
and you form Taskforce. Can you mention all the members of Taskforce?
Well, it began as Berry Crew.
Okay. So it's Berry Crew at first.
If we go back a little bit, I'll just do it very briefly. If we
Yeah.
go back a little bit, when I was in Highbury Grove Boys School, which it was a boys' school back in the day,
Yeah.
Very grim school. I don't know if you lot know Jay Blades. You know Jay Blades?
I know Jay Blades,
And he
yeah.
does that repair shop thing on the TV. You know Spoonie, though, from Dream Team.
Yes.
Right, all these guys were my elder guys in school. So when I was first, second year, them guys were full fifth years. Right? So, and Wookie and all them guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So all those guys, and there's little me, and then there's a guy called Shocking MC as well, who was part of the Skibbers, Skibbity, what's the other?
R.I.P.
Skibbity and
Shabba,
yeah.
right? And Shocking.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? It was
Okay.
So Shocking's younger brother is my age.
Right.
He was my best friend. He was Intense V, right? So me, Intense V, had an enemy, a common enemy, in rap when we were
Yeah, of
13,
course.
14.
Yeah.
Called
Like the caveat.
Mike Skiller. But at that time he was called Bad Boy Jace, right?
Okay.
So every dinner time, lunchtime in the playground, we would go out and we would all battle, right? Me, Little Sim's brother who was in our class, we would all
Wow.
battle.
Crazy.
We would all battle Jace, right? Now, couple years down the line, these battles were immense, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Couple years down the line, I met a lady and we had a child, and that lady was Jace's sister, right?
Okay.
Now, Jace must have thought, what kind of treachery is this? Because we were worst enemies, right?
I love this.
Right, so it was like mad battlefield stuff, right? But it was like, so I went round to the house, we sat down. I was like, Mike, I'm sorry, like, but it's not a move of hatred. It's like, you know, blah 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 blah. And then we sat down once upon a time. Now the child had arrived and we were cool. And we sat down and was like, let's make a little crew.
What's your child's name?
Aaron is my eldest. He's 30 years old now.
Wow.
He has 3 children of his own.
Wow.
Oh, he won't be listening.
No.
He don't chat to me. He ain't chatted to me for about 3 years.
Okay.
Because I had to tell him some like grown up man dad thing, like, and he weren't used to it. He was like, "Meow."
Right.
And he whimpered off with his tail between his legs, and he ain't chatted to me since. But such is life. So Berry Crew was formed around 95, 96.
Okay, so Berry Crew, and who was?
That was Intense, otherwise known as Violent V.
Okay.
Intense Whisper.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. You had me, Chester, and Mike Skiller. We were the foundation members, and then you had Twilight Eyes, you had Knox, You had a couple of other members, yeah?
Okay.
But then my brother linked, we all knew Skinny. We knew Skinny from school. I thought Skinny went to our school, but he just came there so much that
He's one of them ones.
like
Yeah.
Right, so
out and about.
you know Skinny.
Yes.
Anyone who's listening will
Legend.
know Skinny's personality is huge, and wherever he goes, whether it's rap or not, people know who he is.
Yeah.
So he was like Chess, Mongo. I knew Mongo on a different thing. I knew him on street hustling vibe, but Skinny, Mongo and Chester, my brother, they joined, made Mud Fam. So around 97, 98, you had Berry Crew, Mud Fam. We'd done the gig Mudlums, which was Mud and Highbury Hoodlums, which was the abbreviation of the Berry Crew. Right. So Mudlums was formed. Right. Then Mark B came to a Mudlums, chatted to me and my brother, was like, I don't want the Berry Crew, I want you and your brother. We was like, shit. Okay,
then.
fine. 1999, Taskforce was born, and that's where Taskforce started. So 99, 2000,
basically when
we
Taskforce-
said goodbye to Berry Crew. They hated us forevermore. Mud Fam, cool with Mud Fam, because Mud Fam were like, we don't care anyway.
Yeah.
And and that's where the Taskforce journey started.
So when one of the first songs I ever heard from Taskforce was on Braintax's album. I think it was called God Knows.
God Knows,
God Knows got a lot of attention. I mean, that got played on
Bullet Boy.
Oh, thank you. Because I was trying to remember what film it was, and I should have done my research for that. But yes, Bullet Boy played God Knows in one of the. I mean, me and my brother was like, "What? They're playing God Knows."
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
But that's my point. It was it was because this is all London music. Because the UK hip hop scene, if that's people want to call it that, was London music. Grime is London music. So everybody heard each other's music. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we will just write, especially the pioneers of grime. We'll all know about who you guys are.
I've chatted to JME and them guys.
100
when when they weren't.
Have you got Skepta's number?
I haven't. No. I would like Skepta's number too.
Yeah, make some bangers.
I'd love to
make some bangers together. You guys are.
But no, Skepta. That's who I mean, not JME.
No, you meant Skepta, yeah.
Yeah. And because when we were all coming up, the shows were smaller.
Yeah, we remember.
And it would be like
and
a
I'm
crossover.
from East. We're from East, so we know.
But that's the point as well, because we grew up in Walthamstow, so we were very much tape traders, very much into tape cassettes and pirate radio and listen to everything, and big hip hop fans. So we loved your music, man. I'm just gonna say we love Taskforce, we love Jess, we loved everything you guys were doing. Skinny Man, even the Braintax album. So Lowlife Records was a big thing then. That was kind of the soundtrack to our youth. Mm-hmm. You guys were making big moves with Lowlife. Lowlife were doing big thing. Braintax.
But at the same time, you know what? I just have to push in. At the same time, brother. Because this is forgotten a lot.
Go ahead, brother.
Radio 1 Extra.
What?
Right? Because what happened when Kung Fu and Lowlife and we all started bubbling, right? And it all seemed to start getting a little bit like, oh, hello, this is a bit like a golden age coming up. Yeah. Right? Everyone was getting a little bit excited. Journalists were starting to get involved.
That's right.
And that's when things roll differently.
Right.
Radio 1 Extra was created.
That's right.
Right? At a very pivotal moment that thrusted that whole thing right up in the air.
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. If you
went
think
from the
about
Choice
it,
FMs to the 1
the
Extra.
Choice FMs to the 1 Extra.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because Ace would have.
No, think about who the radio DJs were when they first started. Who did the hip hop shows?
279.
No. On 1 Extra.
On 1 Extra.
Who was it?
Who was it? I can't remember. Ace and Vince, right? No.
Sarah Love,
yes. Oh yeah.
Right. Who was Kung Fu aficionado?
Yes.
Right. Skits and Rodney P had a radio show on Radio 1 Extra. Come on.
I don't know how to remember.
But they don't say nothing about it.
Right.
When they're talking about, because the scene was culturally a different shade to what they needed it to be.
What does that mean though?
Well,
Sorry.
it was white.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was white. There was all of the acts that were being pushed were white.
Got you. Understand.
Not every single one of them.
But I know what you're saying. It was a predominantly white scene. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. When we were coming up, when we would have gone to Subterranea, when we were younger, it was a majority black crowd, right? to come and see black artists. The older fraternity of UK hip hop were black.
Sure.
Right? There were a few white acts, but then me and my brother came along, and Skinny and Jest and Lowlife, and all of a sudden, the whole tide had turned, and everyone was from a different background. So there's a lot of middle class guys coming from up in Hampstead, and a lot of the artists, the graffiti artists who are all white as well, they all started coming and supporting. So a big movement.
Right.
So when One Extra was representing what they was wanting to
It was a
represent,
certain demographic.
the demographic was wrong, and that's why I imagine they don't talk about it and celebrate it the same now.
Understood.
I see.
Because it's not representative of what they're.
I'm glad you said that though.
Yeah.
Well, because no one ever says it.
Yeah.
No,
But
one
no
ever
one's
talks about
real.
it.
But
Yeah,
be
but
real, and
exactly.
that's why I like what you're saying.
Big up Farmer, man.
That's where that's my roots in it. I know Skinny would sit here and say the same thing. That's where we came from.
Yeah.
So when I would get hustled to go out, and when I would get in the jam, I'd get hustled in the jam, and then I'd get hustled outside the jam, because it wasn't necessary. You had to earn the place, and that was the same in my school as well. Like I said about Jay Blades.
Yes.
He's an older Highbury Grove boy. He talks about how bad that school was. The racial divide was, you either had complete right-wing white racist gits, and then you had the black rude boys from Stokey and Hackney. That was the demographic. And in the middle, you had like people like me going, "Oh, I want to be down. I want to be down," and like so, I'd get beat down by both sides.
Right.
I'd get shit from both sides. Excuse my language.
No problem.
Yeah,
No
right.
problem.
So.
Mad.
You have to earn a certain thing, and you have to not stop trying to earn it because it's not given. So that's my look on the thing. It's the same as everything to do with.
Sure.
Do you think much has
culture.
changed though? I know that's like a loaded question in terms of what's actually happening in the scene and who's being pushed forward. If you look at like grime hip hop now,
I personally think musically, it's and I'm not gonna say that artists ain't as creative or one thing or another. I think they are, but I think you see a lot more negativity. I can't let my kids listen to, or I won't. I will say I wouldn't let them. They can. They probably will hear it.
Yeah.
At one point, I got two that are just about 10 years old. I got twins, and I'm not happy with them hearing so many words bleeped out on daytime radio, and it's like they're looking at me like, what is this? And they're talking about women doing oral sex or whatever. It's like, come on now. So for me, maybe I'm just old-fashioned and I'm falling behind in what's actually going on with humans, but maybe it is that because you do get old, and my parents hated my music when I was that age.
It's one of them things.
So it's maybe one of those things.
I think it might be personal taste on what's important to you, because if you think of like our generation, I don't know how old you are, I'm 41. If you think of, what was it, Two Live Crew and some of the stuff they were saying, it's really graphic.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you think of Nate Dogg and some of their tunes, when people were going about WAP, with Cardi B and Megan, I was like, I've been there, heard that a million and one times.
Yeah.
But,
and in a male perspective.
Yes, and that what you said is so critical and important. The difference was it was from a female perspective. But like you, that's not my take. That's not what I feel. That's not what I resonate with.
I think we all have the right to have a personal taste.
I'm still a virgin, but I understand what they're saying.
We have a personal taste. I'm just going to ignore the bits I don't want to hear. Right? So we all have the right to our own personal likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
Right. But what my thing is who runs it.
Thank you.
Right. So whoever
That's
runs
really
it. So
important.
you guys will play what you're playing, and you can see from the foundation up. Right.
Yeah.
So it's quite clear and transparent. When you're dealing with record labels and
important.
The people who are up here, and it's always been that, right?
That's true.
And you
It's
get
almost
people like
gatekeepers.
Wiley who's not the most patient guy.
Yeah.
And then he speaks before he thinks.
Yeah.
And then
About the repercussions.
articulation is not always the best.
Not
And it
great.
makes people dismiss him when he's actually quite factually correct.
Right.
Yeah. No,
Right.
it's true. It's true.
So the people who run the Universals, the the Sonys and all those big companies, they are not the same people who are speaking all of that.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily so that they even give two hoots about the people who are making that, and they are pushing with millions and millions of dollars worldwide.
Agreed.
That's dangerous.
My background's accounting. It's all about margins.
Yeah.
It's all about what's going to get the biggest reach. That's going to equate to money in your pocket at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As opposed to art and the consequences of what you are saying.
But is there a more nefarious side to that whole thing where you're talking about the degradation of women? You're talking about the killing of youth. We don't even have to say it's a cultural or colour or race.
Yeah.
But the youth are pitted against each other, listening to, or at least the soundtrack to a killing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is making people be this way. But it's the soundtrack to that. It's the soundtrack to it. So I can't ignore that, at least not for my children. I can't ignore that this is the music of that generation or the generations before us. Like I grew up when NWA's album was banned over here at first, and no one could find it because of the title and How to Kill a Hooker and tracks like that. Right?
Yeah.
But society weren't reflecting those, at least not here.
Yeah.
At least not here. But now what we have now is we have the music that is popular is homegrown.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's changed. That's what's changed. So it's homegrown, which is great, and we should celebrate it from wherever it comes from and whatever genre of music it is. But what we have is now we have real life reflecting the lyrics. And if all that the guys can speak about is like shotting and how much money they can throw away and whatnot, then there's an issue. To me, that's an issue.
Yeah.
At least for my family, that's going to be an issue.
And mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And we had Ryan's daddy here earlier. Be the same for you.
So what are we going to do? Because as responsible adults, no one wants to hear you anymore.
No. Nobody really.
No one wants to hear you.
Especially with music, especially with music as well. It's like, it's so hilarious to me. I was in Wireless last week. J. Cole was the main event. And it's like, I just felt like an old man in a festival. And like the youngest...
What were you doing?
Well, you were being honest to yourself.
Yeah, because I am an old man in a festival.
But you're not.
But no, my
You're
point
just
is...
there. You're not
my
Jimmy
point
Savile.
is, obviously, my days of when I used to go Wireless in my younger days, those days are gone. Because Wireless is catered to a younger demographic.
It is, absolutely.
But it's like, I think we do that with, especially with hip hop. We put a shelf life on when you can be relevant.
I hate that.
That's why the greats.
I hate it.
The greats can like Jay-Z can go on and still perform now in his 60s or whatever. Well, he's not 60s yet, but you know what I mean.
54.
But it's like you really got to be like.
But you got to diversify when you grow up.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
You can't.
You can't make the music that you grew up listening.
I don't want to hear like 54-year-old Jay-Z talking about what 22-year-old Jay-Z.
No, he doesn't. The subject matter will change because he will talk about adult things as a subject matter. But in terms of the musicality, it's still going to be very much what the kids listen to. It's just that what he's saying is still grown up.
Jay-Z, for me, Jay-Z is like a hero. That's one of my heroes.
Me, come on, Farmer, man.
Tupac. I never listened to Tupac. I never listened to that guy. Wow. Without throwing any shade.
Can we turn off the mic?
We're not throwing shade on Park. But we have this.
Your guest is having an episode. Your guest is having an episode.
We have this thing with Park. We have this thing with Park.
No, wait. No, I'm a person who I like all music. Right? I like all music, and I'm not throwing any shade. I'm not throwing any shade. It's just but it's like it's like as if someone said, "What is it, Biggie or is it Tupac?" For me, it's neither.
Okay,
it's neither.
Okay.
Like I respect both of their skills.
Yeah,
and they're obviously excellent
rappers
at what they do.
Yeah,
and Tupac had some great tracks.
He did.
Who's your guys growing up? Who's your Wu-Tang
guy?
Oh, yeah.
I love Wu-Tang.
I can tell the way Taskforce raps is very Wu-Tang.
Killer is like my favourite.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not even growing up.
Yeah, go on.
1985.
Yeah, okay.
We're talking Roxanne Shante.
Come on.
Right? Talking about man's grandmother and like the Roxanne's revenge business.
Yeah.
Not just the hits.
Yeah.
But I was collecting records when I was 10.
Sure.
from Mr. Music's in Dalston.
Sick.
Records, Lardy Dardy, obviously.
Yeah.
But like that was the education. That was the education, because that was when the little mind went, you don't even have to pay to do this. So you do the beat and I can rap.
And that's
and
it.
as long as there's two of us, we're always going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So
This
that was
is
it.
great, timeless music, though.
Yeah. But it's important to keep on dragging it back into the conversations, because what we see now is it's very similar, because you can get cracked hardware, you can drag up your Logic, you can get your Fruity Loops or whatever, and you can make music, right? I'm not condoning people pirate and all the rest, but you can if you want to.
Yeah, man.
And then, like myself, if I didn't have any money, I'd rap through a headphone, because it's the same principle.
That's what we used to do back in the day,
It's
right?
the same thing.
Yeah, the little small headphone. And
It's exactly the same thing. You put the headphone into the mic socket,
make
it's
it
the
work.
same thing.
Make it work.
So you do what you're doing, innit?
Listen, I'm going to play one of my favorite songs of yours, you and this is Taskforce, Cosmic Gypsies. This is a classic, man. This is a timeless song. Who produced this record, by the way?
Right, so Braintax produced this, but Braintax produced this with me and Chester in the room directing, but the credit goes to Braintax.
Braintax,
Yeah.
okay. We will talk about Braintax after this number here, man. This one is Cosmic Gypsies by Taskforce featuring Braintax and Jess.
Ooh, that got serious. Huh?
Years ago, before space travel was either near or real, writers were sending their heroes into orbit with their pens.
I'm the spaceman type, chewing meteoric porridge. The asteroid arsenal's beefing up my courage. The lunar base burglars, sunspots burn you up. I'll be shooting stars at Mars, the planet murderer. My spaceship's flying. A red dwarf alliance, drying up the Milky Way's galactic pirates. Sub-dive astronaut, my mind can't be rescued. I sniff stardust, manufactured up I'm the cosmic gypsy, tipsy from plutonium whiskey. This freaky alien from Pluto gives me my soldiers from the solar. Roll on you rapper dreads like I heard the asteroids. Face my magnetic space shower. My debris clashes Jupiter, heavyweight powers. All my forces are nuclear, so keep your cursed distance. Feel when I snap like a Venus penis trap from Mercury and back. I'm known by the kingpins in drug rings of Saturn. You mess with this space fog and something's gotta happen. So grab the Southern Cross if that's any constellations. Some space stations sell shit from Uranus, but they get demolished by the interstellar famous. Spaceman type from a section that's nameless. I'm the cosmic gypsy, welcome to my kingdom. The space is my wife and these planets are my children.
In my capsule, blast through green escape pod, floating on through the velvet robes of some god. Radio is gone dead, I navigate past the plow, feel ecstatic. Like, hey Rob, look at me now. Rough course traveling, infinite space palace. Open wonder face with aurora borealis type light shows. Diamonds where I tread on space carpet. Volcanic Erebus, brooding in the Antarctic. Show me a sign, a dock for the interplanetary flea market. Buy a frozen apple, I'll preserve for the shower when your ship gets hit. Burning up, I remember Earth chewing on the pips. Your lasers can't touch my track and I'm star synced with universal underground backing. The moon hopping massive and the cloud steppers. Plutonian Saturnites guided by satellites. My stellar compass is energy and mind state. Emits solar power O2 and gyrate. Stay adrift. Ocean sound of 4 ships. Sail my galleon. Caravan timeline trips.
Farmer stargazer, interstellar space chase, asteroid belt, waistline, lunar man ace, universal supernovas, guide to the galaxy, hitchhiking time bandit seeking ET, sleepwalker in the stars, spirits of the skies, astrology reborn with Taurus by my side. I free celestial latitude sliding down black holes. My hemisphere magic brings spaceman snow. Stardust sower, great plow, sky harvest, satellite demolition, chicken runs with a TARDIS. My starship enterprise is interplanetary with big banging theories from here to Pleiades. The summer solstice countdown to be solar. The moon's in the 9th house, an old star order. Angular planets descending from their birthplace, in tune with the infinite, desirable skyscrape. A cosmical period, the cycle of heaven. The biology of God, I tied a ribbon in the sky. Atmospheric radiation, technological meltdown. Orbiting planets for elemental powers found. My head's buried in volumes of space encyclopedia. Supernature creatures, farmer star healer. I watched the autumn equinox, then burned that time. stars. Seduced by the zodiac, spaceman type farmers, universal map.
Lion of the zodiac, know me as a zoomorphic messenger who orbits the regular star, Northern Nebula, storm cloud dweller, moon boot stepping on the interstellar path, letter trail of the lexicon, alphabet soup, dragon, spacesuit, sentinel, keeper of the Stargate, my soul stays chemical, fold space in several places, zero gravitational fields, the stars plow my acres, I'm weightless now, in Mother Nature's imagination, escape the stasis of carbonite preservation, I occupy lunar bases in moon craters that shield me from meteor storms and new dangers, cosmos conquistador crusaders, and space age saber-toothed tiger soothsayers, explore the dunes, we move with the spice miners, precise science, black holes and white giants, psychic net runners and android headhunters, cyberpunk spongy jumping off the third rock, mixing Smirnoff with dandelion and burdock, moon dew sipping stepchildren of the earth gods, my home's the heavens, I fell back to earth where electric sheep feed on the astroturf, I surf the network and my skin turned silver, metallic anatomy, the space probe builder, rainbow conceiver, I'm bleeding mercury, caught in a time warp, and all I see is burgundy, my fingertips glisten, gripping crystallized flowers, red and green sparkle, marvel at the powers, asteroid showers, interplanetary rainfall, brainstorm color charts, the cosmic paintball, the mega blast, travel on the Battlestar Galactica, Jets, the invalid who infiltrated Gattaca.
I'm the cosmic gypsy, welcome to my kingdom, the space is my wife and these planets are my children. I'm the cosmic gypsy, welcome to my kingdom, the space is my wife and these planets are my children.
Optimus Prime time, my rhymes inclined to transform on any spies. I kill agents. Optimus rhymes engaged in slang busting stage show
Yo, we'll be back in a bit. I'm just gonna play some more Taskforce, and we'll be back with more Farma. This one's called 6 Names.
Perfect. Optimus Prime time, my rhymes inclined to transform on any spies. I kill agents. Optimus rhymes engaged in slang busting stage show fireman switch my head to him.
Charlotte Chan with stamp, walking through quicksand, similar to airplanes, I spit fire. Charlie Chan whiplash, microphones get fresh, karaoke rap nights, I bring terror.
Farma G, force field, countryman, war shield, combined harvesting, I'ma smash the pavements. Farma G's complex, flex to the wind car. Farmyard capers is one step ahead of ya.
It's your face, war games, fresh from the staircase, beatbox session and I do rock clever. Angel face annihilates any guy who violates these laws of respect, then you shall get pepper.
Wrestler river rider, free flow surfer, soon to be a bullfrog, I'm never ending. Rescue ranger, streamline rider, talk of the utter style, deep sea diver.
Smokey Jose runs scams on a soul train. I never bought a ticket cause I've got one better. Smokey Jose relocates beer old ways, intercourse seduction and I'm a jet setter.
Sometimes my memory fades, my world burns away in the flames, only the ashes remain. I'm the man with 6 names. Yeah, this is Pyro Bars and you're tuned into Skillit's World with your boy Ryan Skillit Albert. Stay tuned in.
We are back here at Skillit World. So I played their Cosmic Gypsies and 6 Names from the EP Voice of the Great Outdoors, the classic from Taskforce back in 2000. Talk to us about that, man. Farmer.
Voice of the Great, you know what? So the first record we did was New Mike Order.
Okay.
With the late great Mark B.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And that, for some reason, that record just ticked every guy's box, like around, up and down the country and abroad. Like I know a lot of Europe, they bought into it. And when we did that record, we went on a UK, a little bit of Europe tour. And in maybe a year, we went up and down the country twice. Like we did Glastonbury in 99, 2000. So really like worked hard on that record, and everyone was behind it. Everyone loved the beats, and we didn't really like it, me and my brother, because
you didn't.
Not really, no, because it was the message was misconstrued. It was we were cussing, like what we were just talking about the cultural thing. We were kind of cussing our own fan base to an extent.
Right.
Not straight up, but we were kind of saying, like, nah, like this is what it's meant to be. It's kind of rugged, but everyone kind of thought it was like a flag of like the UK flag flying. Like everyone get involved. Let's all do it.
Sure.
And it was so. No disrespect to Mark, it was a great vessel to carry us forward. And then I bought my first Akai MPC through some of the profits off that record, and started making my own beats. We'd always made music but didn't have a beat machine per se. And then basically they were the first beats, and we made that record. Amazing. We were there was an edge of criminality to our lifestyle, to say the least. We bring a lot of our knowledge of selling and redistributing to the music game, at least in the sense of we understood the value had to be, you have to set your own value, so you can't let people dictate. And at that time, that was a massive shift.
So true. Do you know what? Can I be that person? Could you say that again? What you just said, I think, is such an important message.
You have to set your own value. So now it is a real important time for people to start acknowledging this about their own music.
Yeah.
Because now we see that the value that is set for us is zilch.
100%.
So we're, as artists, we're either really struggling or we're like trying to swim upstream, because nobody else, everyone's happy with just having a record on Spotify.
Yeah.
Right? And that's all right for kids, but they've made it like that. They've made it because all the kids come rushing in and they're like, yeah, I've got my mum, check it.
You could download it.
They're not thinking about a career.
No.
Like, but then you got older heads, or serious heads, let me say, who are like, yeah, but like, I want to make a flipping living out of this.
Yeah.
So where do we start? Because I know when we first started doing what we were doing, Wild Blow, for instance, right?
Yeah, man.
We first released Wild Blow as a one-sided white label, right? It didn't have a sleeve. It had a print on it, like hand printed, like that, right? And we bought thousands of them, right?
Love.
And we sold them at wholesale price, right, to the record shops, in person, cut out the white vans, right? We went to them shops and we hustled them, and we would take £10 per unit.
Right.
Wow,
right.
that's a lot of money back in those days.
Damn
though.
right.
Yeah.
You
And
were
then they would
organic,
sell it.
independent.
We were
But
hustling.
but I feel that generation, that era there, and the reason why certain genres were spawned off of what these guys did is because of their hustle mentality.
I love it.
I don't want to speak for everybody, but definitely I could tell.
But the record shops would make £5 a pop
Well,
on
there you
them.
go.
They were
Amazing.
used to making £2 a pop at the best.
Right. That's
So when you
crazy.
chat to Mr. Bongos and you chat to all these guys and you start realizing it's like, oh, hold on a minute. Like I'm chatting with Braintax. Braintax's real daytime job is as a record press. He works in a record press, right? So I'm like, hold on. How much could I get 3,000 vinyl, just one side print, no sleeve, just a white? Oh yeah, you can boom. It's like, all right. So if I sell it for 10, tell them to take 5. It's like they were happy to see me.
Sure.
They were them record shops. When I used to walk in them record shops, they were like, "Farmer's here. Do you want a cup of tea, farmer?" And it would be happiness, right? And we went on to do the Graph the Bus Up, the same format. We even bootlegged New Mic Order.
Okay.
And people don't know that, but we bootlegged New Mic Order because they did the screw up thing, the Jazz Fudge or whoever, blah, 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 blah. And they'd done too many covers. right? So that was obviously an expense. And this is what record labels do. So they start telling you, oh, we made a mistake. We got 1,000 covers too many. That's going to be like, that's £1,000 expense.
Sure.
It's £1 a cover. And it's like, all right. So we're like, we've seen this before. It's like, we don't trust you anyway. You lot are like some guys from the sticks. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're trying to hustle us. All right, cool. So it's like, all right, Brains, can you press up like a couple of thousand of them? Oh yeah, you man, can we have those covers? Seen as like they're being covered by our expenses. Yeah, of course. What are you going to do with them? Never mind. Thank you. and we just went into the record shops. It's like, yeah, what would you lot be saying if for instance, hypothetically, a man had all these things for sale? Would you be in or would you be out? Would definitely be in, and that's how it ran.
I love it.
I love how you guys move back there, man.
But now we're not making. But there's nowhere for it to go.
Yeah.
So like,
it's been controlled. That market's been controlled. That's why.
You have to be brave, right? Yeah. The last record, the actual vinyl record I did 300 vinyl, right? That's pittance. In the sense of where we were, right? So we were doing CDs, the music from the corner CDs. We were doing 5,000-6,000 of them and selling them without sweating. We're doing hundreds and hundreds of each vinyl we did at £10 a pop. That's one track on a vinyl. You think people are going to do that now? People ain't going to take the risk. First and foremost, you're going to have to wait 6 months for the flipping record to come back because there ain't no vinyl press left. And you've got people like Adele and Beyonce and like, well, we want 500,000 vinyl of our album. And then the whole industry closes down to accommodate them. Yeah, it's a mad one.
So back in the early 2000s, you were doing a lot of stuff with Braintax and Lowlife. Lowlife had a movement with so many different artists coming through with that label. What actually happened with that situation? Because Braintax, I heard rumors that he kind of just ghosted and took people's money. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't actually know the full story. Sure. I know, all I do know is that
That's diplomatic.
I don't know. I can't talk for Maestro. I can't talk for Jest. I can talk to them about it. But I can't talk for them. But what I do know is that I was tight with Braintax.
Yes,
right.
Of course.
And I know that I made nice money with Braintax.
Sure.
And I know that Braintax was the head honcho. And I know that when you're dealing with the top guy of any business in any area of business, they're going to take. It's just part of it.
Yeah.
And if you can't get that, then it's kind of not you're kind of not made for it. You can't be in it.
Sure.
Right? Although, because as creatives, we're really like, or at least we're meant to be really precious of our art because we think it's really special. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really that kind of guy who puts that much emphasis on it.
Okay.
It's like I fart that.
Yeah.
I fart that every day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm a talented guy, right? It might not be everyone's thing, but I know that I'm a talented guy. And if I make something and it's good, then I could make something that's not so good. But I know it's not the last time I'm going to make something good.
Exactly.
Right? So,
exactly.
But everyone was upset with Braintax because he went and he didn't settle up all the business.
Yeah.
Got you.
Now, in my personal situation, the digital copies like on iTunes and then later on onto Spotify and all the digital platforms, we didn't have anything to do with those. Okay. But someone was putting them up.
Sure.
Right? And they were clocking units. So my brother was very upset about it.
Sure.
Me, like, whatever. It's like, but then I started thinking, I'm going to try. So I tried to find out. I know that some people know where the guy was. I know that there's certain people, won't mention any names, but they represent like, we've always been working for the artist, but you don't want to tell us where he is. Right?
Yeah.
I also know that there's artists affiliated to that situation.
Okay.
That knew as well.
Okay.
That never got scammed.
Okay, interesting. I did not know that. Okay.
And I won't mention names.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
But it's all a little bit like the sneaky business going on, right? Because if you take all of Skinny's earnings for Councillor State of Mind, and you take all of Maestro or Jests, and if you accumulate all of that, then it does grow over that many years. So I put a couple of messages out, and then I got a very cryptic message, right? If you message me through Bandcamp, it comes through as number message to you, blah 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 blah, right? So it's like, all right, well, I can't get back in touch with you, kind of thing, right? So this guy was like, hi, I heard you're looking for Braintax. I've got a dossier on him and his whereabouts with his wife's contacts, his address, his everything, phone numbers, blah 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 blah. If you want it, you must promise to me that it will never become anything other than, legal.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to pursue it,
nothing.
It's not that you're going to get a plane ticket, go there and burn down his shit.
Wow, a dossier.
So I was like, I'm not even joking. When it came,
a dossier.
When it came, I was
Man had a
like,
whole panorama.
wow. No, there were photos though. So I was thinking, who is this person? There were photos like through his house. Where his wife
like a private investigator
down.
kind of thing.
Are you being sarcastic? You're being real?
No, he's being real.
Really?
I'm being real. And I said, of course.
This is wild.
So like, all right, so I wrote to Joe, Braintax. Wrote to Joe, boom, listen, this has to get sorted out. No reply. So I thought, all right. So I thought, let me just contact his wife one time. Not like pushing.
We got 30 seconds before the ad break. We might have to continue the story after break. We're going to have to continue the story after break. This is so interesting. I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. You're giving me some gems right now, Farmer. So we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back to find out more about this story. I'm going to play the Braintax tune with Taskforce, which is God knows.
Oh God.
I went on holiday with Joe.
Wow.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
This is Emerson, and you're locked into iLive Radio. Keep it locked.
This is Felicia Temple, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
What's up, everybody? This is Indie Soulstress Gwen Yvette on iLive Radio, the station that supports independent artists and their music.
Are you looking for that feel-good music? The kind of music that makes you want to share with your friends? Then you've been looking for iLive Radio, your #1 source for music lovers worldwide, playing a variety of hits from soul, reggae, gospel, jazz, hip-hop, funk, and everything in between. Download the iLive Radio app now and listen to us when you're on the go. Available on iTunes and the Google Play Store. You can also listen live on TuneIn and Alexa. iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
Yo, this is Special K, representing for Mixmaster J on iLive Radio UK, on the award-winning show, Reggae Drive Time, Monday to Thursdays, playing you the hottest reggae and dancehall flavors. Pressure them, Mixmaster J, pressure them.
This is Lightworks with V Swizzle. She's a hip-hop geek influenced by Dilla Beats. Tune into her show each and every Monday, 8 till 10 p.m. on iLive Radio UK, where the vibe is funky, chunky beats interwoven with lost funk hits for sound innovation. This is Lightworks with V Swizzle on iLive Radio UK.
Tune in to JC's Progressive Soul every Monday, 10 till midnight with me, JC. Playing the best in soul and soulful hip-hop, from the classic to the rare, blended with the neo and progressive, celebrating legends past and present. That's JC's Progressive Soul, every Monday, 10 p.m. till midnight.
We're starting up, now we're on our way.
Hi, I'm DJ Lee Show. Join me every Tuesday between 7 and 9 p.m. UK time, right here on iLive Radio with The Flashback Show, changing the way you listen to music.
Yeah, iLive Radio.
The Flashback Show, across the World Wide Web.
iLive Radio.
The days when the nights were young.
Welcome to iLive UK. This is Deep Sound here, telling you to tune in to the Beats and Bass Show every Tuesday, 9 to 11, showcasing the best in 140, dubstep and grime, and sometimes going across the board, featuring guest mixers, artists, and guest DJs. So tell a friend, every Tuesday, 9 to 11, Beats and Bass Show on iLive UK, changing the way you listen to music.
iLive UK want to hear from you. You can get in touch by calling us on 0208 638 8503, or you can send a WhatsApp message, text only, to 07564 265 257. You can watch us live on Twitch and Mixcloud, and whenever you miss a show, you can listen back via our podcast page at ilivek.com. Don't forget to download our iLive Radio Network app from the Google Store and take us on the road with you. It's iLive UK across all platforms, changing the way you listen to radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
We don't give a... We don't give a fuck.
Old time, shake the place, fight round the state, chock a block, a move, and groovy pitch, defender, set a trend, bend your block, flat feet, state mate, late coming days, change, booked in, 10 o'clock, rock a mic, show stopper, stage dive, liver than live, I flow proper, smoky tan, hustle down way, Ali Cap Braid, Russell Cows, walk you down.
We are back here at Skillet World. Farmer, you were in the middle of a story.
Yeah, you know what I'll say is, I didn't go in for the kill.
No.
Not threatening.
No.
I was a gentleman, and I said to the wife, I said, "Boom, I'm trying to get hold of Joe. It's in his best interest if he talks to me and sorts out the little issue that I'm having." Blah 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 blah. And she must have looked at him and been like, "You better flipping talk to this guy."
Right.
About he's messaging me. Who is he?
Yeah.
So we spoke. He swore that he never knew anything about any of it.
Okay.
Right? I said, right, so you don't know that in the UK people are slandering you.
Yeah.
Like you're literally the boogeyman, right? So we sorted it out. I said, right, get your accountant going all the way back to 2000, work out how much you owe me and my brother.
Wow.
And the accountant came back. I said, you're going to have to do better than that. He went back. He came back again. And he said, all right. And I said, all right, cool. I said, you won't hear any more about it. And I gave my brother some quids. And
Really?
that
Is that how you
done.
resolved it? That's
you know
amazing.
what? It's like I have a way of being, and my brother has a way of being. My brother was like pursuing all sorts of like tracks and slander and blah 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 blah. I just thought, you know what? That's not how you get what you want.
No.
So it's like, let's just go to the guy and just say, you owe me some flipping peas, and sort it out.
Was it a flight? Did you have to take a flight to get to him, or was it?
No, I just
still in
emailed
bits?
him.
Oh, okay.
I just emailed
You
him.
emailed him.
Yeah,
Okay. I thought you physically went there. I was like, what?
You made it sound like you took a flight to Colombia or something.
Nah, man.
There was rumours that he flew the country and all that.
No, he
kind of-
did.
Oh, he actually did.
Yeah, he lives in Australia.
That's
and
what I
he
heard.
has holiday.
I didn't want to
He
say
has
that, but-
holiday homes in Thailand, I think.
In Thailand.
Yeah. So he's done well.
Wow.
So like,
mad Braintax.
Once the conversation's open, you know, and then obviously I passed the details around to the people who affected, and told them to do what they need to do. And I told them that I got my money by just being cool, calm.
Yeah.
And just say what it is. Like you've had, like release them tracks back to me.
Yeah.
So
sure.
for a minute, you'd look on them streaming platforms, and it would be. So I made sure that I put a new cover, the same cover, a big thing, official Taskforce release. So people now know when they're playing the right one, it's It's got a big dirty face.
I remember, the different different covers.
So that's how it is. But
big up yourself, man. Huge respect for you, man. Huge respect. So obviously, Taskforce went on and do so many different multiple projects, still making the music to this day. You've now more focusing on the producing aspects of things. You're doing really good with the producing as well. You're connecting with a lot of great artists in America. You know, Conway the Machine from Griselda.
Whoa.
You're producing a lot of stuff for him. You released your own album called Farmer's £10 Bag. You know, and that's, you know, with one of a lot of elite UK rappers on there, of course, legendary UK rappers that you grew up with, working with. But you know, what is it for you now? Are you more, because I know you do rap on that album, but are you thinking more the production now?
Well, after me and my brother kind of like, we did the last thing that we did together, which was Music from the Corner 5, which we'd always promised ourselves that we'd complete 5. And that one was really hard work creatively, because we were both on completely different pages.
Sure. I know what that's just like when you and your brothers. I do a lot of work with my brothers, and sometimes creatively this doesn't work.
He's like the kindred spirit of my dad, and he has his way of like that kind of. He's all out there.
Yeah.
Like, and I have the older son, but I also have these two new guys, and since having these two. Man, they made me feel really old. First and foremost, it's like and I learned a lot about myself. How I was with the first guy, and I was a kid, basically trying to raise a kid, and I didn't realize how much I got wrong at being a parent. So I always knew when my guy was 25, 26 or whatever, I knew that I was having less to say as a public spokesman person's kind of thing, if you know what I mean. Like as an MC, I believe MCs are meant to be competitive, like full of gusto. Like me, I was always more like a braggadocious kind of, not full of like political things to say. My brother, complete opposite.
Yeah.
Although he does think he's the best still, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
you're meant to though, aren't you?
Yeah, you must have that competitive nature.
That's the only way you can keep going,
or it's pointless.
100%.
So I was in for many years I was thinking to myself, I'm not really sure I've got anything relevant to say, because my eldest son spits as well, and he's flipping good at it.
Yes.
And so it was like, I'm not competing with my own kid, do you know what I mean? But it challenges everything about you, because your son has become a man, and it's like, I can't wear a baseball cap anymore. Yeah. Because my son wears a baseball cap. Right. What kind of fool am I going to be walking down the street with a New Era cap on, right? And my son is there, but next to me, it's like, and people be like, who's this from? So it's like, this is my son.
Big up to your son, man, because he made waves as well. And what I loved about your son, I felt like he just did it without the look of this is my dad. Look who my dad is. He
really didn't want. He didn't want it.
I respect that so much, man.
He didn't want it.
I respect that.
You know,
so
he
much.
could have been. You know, when Ocean Wisdom got signed to High Focus, and that was meant to be him.
Okay.
That was basically meant to be Remus. Remus was destined for great UK greatness, and wherever and however he implanted himself into that industry. But he flopped. He flopped just because of the way he is and his personality. And I'm sure I have to take some of that on my own shoulders. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
But he said to me, I don't want to be affiliated with this UK boom bap blah 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 Taskforce thing that
said that to you?
That you man created. And I said,
why though? Why do you think he said it?
Because he was brung in.
Yeah.
From 9. So he don't want it. Because he is such a brilliant and talented young guy. Mm. He actually doesn't deserve to have someone every time. Hey, this is Remus. Oh yeah, you're Farma G and Chester Keys.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like,
you're
Taskforce. It's like, no, actually, like my guy came up with Little Sims, and them guys were space age.
Yeah.
Before she became just Little Sims. You know, a funny one, right?
Yeah.
My Sims. Like I said before, I was in the same class as
brother, right?
Femi, right?
Yeah.
Femi's a brother. And must have been 2000 and something, man. But the guys must have just about start going to secondary school. and Femi must have come round to the house, and he was down at the shouting up at the window, like, "Oh, Robert, okay, man, what's going on, Femi, man? Like, I ain't seen him since school. Yeah, I wondered if you could, like, because you're doing music now, I wondered if you could help my sister." I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. I was like, I don't reckon I'm going to be able to do that, you know, Femi. It's like, that was me passing up on little Sims, do you know what I mean? And then, but funnily enough, then my kid was in school, in class with Sims.
Right.
And then they became Space Age. If you look on YouTube for Marilyn Monroe, I think the track is called, and it's called Space Age. It's her, and Snoop played that. That's how she blew.
Okay.
Because Snoop played that on one show that he was doing. I can't remember it, but he was
it
breaking.
when he had that kind of podcast thing?
Yeah. But he broke her, and that's with that track. So like he had openings, my kid. But like I say, but anyway, yeah. So
didn't your son do a lot of stuff with like Jamal, SBTV, and that? Or am I making that up?
Jamal's just always backed us.
There, yeah.
Jamal's always backed us.
Big up Jamal, man.
What's mad sad about obviously his passing and whatnot, like he always looked out, like on a. I say this like with a heavy heart because I don't know him like know him. Yeah. But I know that like he was a one-off.
Yeah.
100%. Enough people say it.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely a thing. But he did a thing called SBTV Legends.
Right.
And like he
had Taskforce on there, right?
He got in touch with me and was like, "Yo, you got to be on this thing." I was like, "You must be having a laugh. Are you serious?" And he was going, "Yeah, I want you to be on it." Like he always he checked in
100%. He surprised me one time because I didn't know he knew my stuff either. I didn't think he even knew who I was. And we were in a party together, and he bigged up my boy Pyro. He said, "Oh, we need to do an SBTV to my boy Pyro." And he goes to me, "And I want to make a video for you to me." And I was like, "You've heard my stuff?" He said, "Yeah, I love your videos. Your videos are crazy. I love your stuff." I was like, so big up Jamal, man.
Definitely.
Crazy, man.
Love
different.
That guy.
It's a different breed, man. That was a different person.
Love that guy. He did a drop for me for the £10 bag, right?
Okay.
Because I was getting like lots of different famous people that have been influenced and inspired, or at least are on a team kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Ramesh Ranganathan. Who else? Anyway, but a couple different people, right?
Yeah.
And I asked.
I tried to help you, but I didn't
I
know.
know. You're just looking at me like you flopped that one.
I think I got shouts to I think my lady showed up. Big up to my lady Tia. Sorry, I think I ignored her. She tried to say
Mrs.
hi.
Ryan?
Yeah, I think she tried to say hi and I ignored her. So sorry if she's just.
Are we going to bring her in?
I don't get cussed after the show. So yeah, sorry.
Bring her in so we can cuss you in the show.
She's waiting in the thing in the wings. So.
He sent me a voice note to use, and then he was saying, "Yeah, look, I've got these ideas, and maybe like you can come." He had sent me this video of him in a weed. Kind of plantation thing. I don't know.
Yes.
Was it a grow yard? Can we call it by the Wolfram
No.
Is it a grow yard?
It was a legal thing.
It was a big space, right?
Yeah, like a big greenhouse thing.
Yes.
And he was walking around watering the plants.
Yes.
He was going, "I want to do something like this with you." And I was like, "Yeah, man, like we'll set it up or whatever." And then obviously he passed, and I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't
and
it?
I listened to the thing, and I think, "Damn." Yeah,
I never met him and I never knew him like that, so I can't even make that claim. But what I'd love to hear about him is the amount of people around me that he's touched, but he's like spoken their names in rooms that they weren't in.
Exactly.
Can you imagine, like, you're advocating for the culture that much that you've made sure that you've put people on in terms of putting out their music or connecting them with this advertising person or marketing or this person. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So RIP to him.
The thing is because of his machine that he created, obviously all on his own, right, and then employed loads of young people, and then they all went on to do other stuff as well. They all went on to create this and create that. So it's like the reach that he created.
Yeah, crazy,
huge.
Yeah, 100%.
As well as all the artists that he gave exposure to and whatnot.
Exactly.
Huge.
Loads of artists as well. Like he just made like his SBTV. I used to be on a show called No Hats, No Trainers in like
I remember.
2000. Yeah, and I used to do the Skillits Word of the Days.
I'm so proud of you.
Anyway, a lot of the time, because the show was very much a UK music show, a lot of the talent we scouted to become on that show was because of SBTV.
Really?
So big up Jamal, man. That was him, man. That was all him. Farmer, we're gonna talk more with you, but I want to play this tune produced by yourself. The Get Back featuring Conway the Machine.
Love Conway.
Radio. I need you to hate me. I need you to doubt me. I need you to doubt me. Need you to tell me that I'll never make it. Tell me I ain't hungry no more and I ain't dedicated. Tell me if it wasn't for this and that I'd never made it. So I can prove you wrong on everything you speculated. High school dropout, I wasn't educated. Smoking backs back to back, I gotta stay medicated. I lost my nigga Sheen Gun and I was devastated. Any accomplishment I make, his name is celebrated. At the Bellagio, blowing big bread in Vegas. I got in this rap shit and regulated. He the illest in the game, it's been said and stated. I'm ahead of schedule to be the greatest, motherfuckers. Yeah. You see what I'm doing, nigga? Machine. Industry bully squeeze, fully automatics in the back of your cabbage, so please push it. I can look at a rapper and see that he pussy. Got the Mac under my FYP hoodie. Told you niggas don't get scared now. Stand up to us, you getting aired down. Tell them rap niggas I'm here now. The way I'm rapping lately, shit ain't even fair now. Body bags every verse, nigga. Got a bag up to work, nigga. You gotta work, nigga. Get a lot of cash, it's the first, nigga. Young niggas drop a body fast on them perks, nigga. First nigga out of my city to make this rap shit work, nigga. That's cause I put in the work, nigga. So hate on me all you want, you ain't the first, nigga. I'm the illest rapper on this earth, nigga. Shame. It is what it is, nigga. It is, nigga. Shooters coming where you live, nigga. AR-15 with the stock on it. Them young niggas already had the drop on them. Where the drama, I like that. I like that. I took a little loss, I bounced right back. Then I put a bag on your body. Talk to him, I put a bag on your body, nigga. Look, I still smoke the gas on my block, nigga. My neck buzzed down, flashing my Glock. Same corner where I used to post with cracks in my socks. Now big blue hunters is all I have in my knot. Know it's niggas wishing they had what I got. I know deep down inside they really mad they ain't pop. I don't have no problem spinning the bag so you drop. Pay one of these young niggas, have them clap at your top. Look. Homie, my Mac really pop. I send back the gelato crop. Packs in a box. Where I'm from, niggas die young. It happens a lot. I'm stacking my guap. I'm about to go and snatch me a drop. Whoa. Just look at all the classics I dropped. Created my own lane. Now this rap shit is locked. I remember when I used to cook the crack in the pot. Whatever I do in this game, I did that for my block, nigga. It is what it is, baby.
A tenor won't go so far these days, and I can't keep lazing around in the balmy haze. I don't blaze, but in a way, things have hardly changed. Still get the bag. The difference is a large fee's paid. Yes, it's mad. Thinking of how far we came, we set the tab. They're drinking at the bar we raised. Cheapskates, but we ain't living in nostalgia. Thinking of lost albums. Wish I'd have dropped thousands, but don't sweat it, cause listen, the flow's effortless. Never mix up Essa with these miserable old penniless, bitter and cold breaders with little or no eloquence. They're so desperate, switching to whole relevance now. I don't forget because elephants can't. I'm in the room and the presence is vast. Memories last when the present has passed. But I got my eyes on the prize, not my head in my ass. Could dry cry, but instead I just laugh. It's been forever since we were together. I remember ridiculous. I've been in this a minute, cause king's reign continuous. You're privileged, dealing with this grade of lyricist, vociferous. I say what I think, change the syllabus. Spit rivers of ink, stain the tincture with a drip of this mixture, acid, brain, precipitate. Idiots in ignorance think they can mimic us. Mate, I'm sick of this piss take, ridiculous. They're Icarus, up on the cliff face, precipitous. Their wings dripping, that's it, pray, deliverance. When I look at them, I see steak and chips, because once a beast, always a beast steak, carnivorous. There was never a chance against Esserum Farms from the psychedelic testing you can't ever surpass. I remember the past, golden era was a blast, but I'm still making memories that last.
So I was just playing some my man Farmer's beats with some rappers, talented rappers over there. We had Conway the Machine, we had Body Bag, and you don't know. But Body Bag is one of them, and then obviously just now I just played Essa, who've Let It Go. Essa, very talented UK rapper, and I'm glad that you had him in your project, man.
Young Gun.
Well, yeah, Young Gun, yeah. That's his original. Is his name? Is not Essa now?
Essa now.
Yeah.
But you know, he's like a mad music lawyer, isn't it?
Is he?
Like, he's posh.
Yeah, no, me and him we always got on really well. We used to always buck up at J Dilla nights.
Yeah,
you know, the tribute nights to J Dilla. Really lovely guy.
Lovely guy.
Yeah, so shout out to Young Gun, man. Yeah, and so that was that Let It Go. You did a music video for that. Big tune. Very great way to start off your album, Farmer's 10 Bag.
Yep.
Talk about that project, man. What was it like putting that all together?
Well, it was originally our DJs, Louis Slippers. So it might have passed you by, but Louis Slippers did the £10 Bag Volume 1, 2 and 3.
Yes, he did. Yes,
back
sorry.
in the
Yes,
day,
yes, he did.
Right? So what I did is I copied the cover, I copied the format. Obviously, I phoned up Louis and was like, Lou, give me permission. And he was like, yeah, you take that, you take that. So I took it, and what I believe is that, so I'm still a hustler, and there has to be ways that you get into the psyche of people to consume.
Sure.
Right? Everyone else fucking does it. So it's like, it's up to us as artists to manipulate as much as we can. So I know, one thing I do know is nostalgia is something that people of my age, 10 years younger, whatnot, they buy into it. So a lot of the artists that appear on that Volume 1 grew up listening to that first CD.
Right. Yeah.
So first and foremost, that helped me immensely.
I love that.
That helped me get the artists. So it's like, do you want to be on a £10 bag? And they're like, I fucking grew up on that shit. I want to be on it with bells.
Yeah.
Right? So that helped, right? And obviously the cover is exactly the same. No one would put out a record that looked like that now. It looks like it was done on whatever them old programs are from 2000. Do you know what I mean?
The little edits.
It's like it wasn't an immensely difficult cover to create. But I wanted it to look like that because I wanted people to look at it. People were saying, "Oh, you're re-releasing?" No. This is brand new. This is new.
We're paying homage.
I had one guy. He bought it before he even knew it as a new one. He bought 2 copies of the thing.
I love that.
And he's like, "Yeah, I got 2 copies. This ain't Louis' one." I was like, "No, this ain't Louis' one.
That's
not
genius.
doing Louis' one." But it came around just. I wanted to dive back into the UK thing. It's nice working with the Americans, but I wanted to achieve something by being inspired by other producers, Giallo Point, UK producers who Sonny Jim.
Yeah, Sonny Jim. Big up Sonny Jim, man.
There's a handful of people who were doing it 2017, 2018, and I fell into that little wormhole one night and discovered all these different artists, and I'd never heard of any of them. And I thought hip hop was dead over there.
Sure.
And I just thought, all right, I started reaching out slowly, and because the only person I'd ever worked with was Chester, and I make music every day. I make music every single day religiously. It helps my brain and it stabilizes me, whether or not I'm selling it or not selling it.
Yeah.
I just make it one way or another. So I have like a vault of like, we're talking like 4, 5, 6 years worth of music, and Chess would be like, "Oh, so you like it? No, Chess, I don't like that beat." So it's like, all right, let's put it in the vault. So I had like thousands of tracks.
Yeah, man.
And it's only in the last year or so that I'm starting to have to like make beats because it's like I've run out or I've sold them all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just a business. But I wanted to dive back in to the UK, and I'd kind of forgotten how nice it was.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten, because you're not known to these 19-year-old New York kids from Rochester, like Mooch and Riggs and all these kids. They don't know who I am. They don't need to know who I am.
Yeah.
But all they know is that I did a track with this person and that person. They want to work.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, all right, well, let's do some.
And
work.
the music speaks for itself as well.
And the music works.
Yeah.
But I haven't changed anything. This is the interesting thing.
That's a good point.
Was I that flipping hip all these years? Was I that cool?
But I think things just goes back in cycles.
It goes in cycles.
It goes in cycles. It's like, because what you're doing, like, listen, I was playing those songs earlier today. Those songs that I played, the Taskforce songs that I play, I listen to quite regularly, even throughout the years of when it first came out in 2000 to that's 22 years, you know what I'm saying? So it will always loop back on my playlist because they're timeless music, you know what I'm trying to say?
Thank you.
And absolutely with what you're doing, your sound, that art sound, that's people, Buffalo's trying to bring that back, you know, with the Griselda guys are bringing up, you know, like Rome Streetz, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, so it just goes in cycles, man.
The thing is, it's samples.
Music, man. Yeah.
For me, I've always loved samples.
Same here, man. It's the best.
I don't like to chop up too much. If I find a big fat loop and slam a beat.
I mean, like, who's one of the best producers today? Alchemist, man. He's the king.
He's the dad.
He's the dad.
Of what's going on.
The no drum samples.
And Rock Marcy.
And Rock Marcy, yeah, come on, man. Marcy. Marsburg album, all them things there, man. Legendary.
But, man, it's just, it's mad that, for me, that's like, all I ever wanted to do was, so let's say when I used to make beats, I used to imagine Mobb Deep, right? So I'd make beats, and in my mind I could hear Prodigy, right? So it was kind of like when you get to the pot of gold at the end of a journey, for me. Once I'd done the Rome Streetz, once I'd linked up with Conway and all the different people, Rome getting signed to Griselda, it's like my job is definitely done.
Yeah, for sure.
And people never even recognized me as a producer.
No.
So people will still come up to me and go, "Who produced da-da-da-da-da from the Taskforce thing?" It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's like we did 5 volumes of music from the corner and people still asking who produced it.
Yeah.
So I produced it.
Yeah.
But getting to the end of that journey where it's now, like I say, these guys, I met Rome at the Islington Academy.
Sure.
How mad's that? So he come to my actual ends. For the first time he's come to perform, and they booked him in my area.
I love that.
Right?
I saw the photo of you two together. I was supposed to go to that. I couldn't make it, unfortunately.
It's the first time that we've ever met, and his manager, Coach, who's a lovely guy, he was genuinely surprised. Like, you know, they know I'm a middle-aged white guy.
But they saw you, they were like, oh.
But I wanted to embrace it because I knew it was going to be like that. Yeah. So it's like...
that's the thing about music, though, man.
You just don't know, do you?
Don't know. I mean, shout out to our brother Beat Butcher. Beat Butcher's in the States. He's doing his thing.
But the thing is like, you got, like... My kids won't let me cut my hair.
Okay.
Right? But I hate having long hair.
It looks good on you, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
It suits you, brother.
It's so hot.
Is it all
I
yours?
hate hair.
But even when you were younger, you used to have like curly fro.
Yeah, I used to blow it out. I used to blow it out. I used to like it then.
Yeah.
But I was thin and I looked like...
Yeah, you look good. You still look good, brother.
I was doing big things with it them times. Right? And now it's lank and it's long. But the kids, they're just not letting me cut the hair.
I think the kids are onto something there, man.
So it's like, I walk into the jam and it's like everyone's got their Ralph on and like everyone's like looking well hip hop, and like I come in and I just look like, are you meant to be in here actually? It's like,
are you lost?
I'm trying to get backstage. It's like, you an electrician? No, I'm actually like.
Are you an electrician?
Yeah. So when they met me, they were like, fuck. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's me.
Yeah, I love that, man.
But it is what it is, man. But production's my therapy.
Listen, you got some great artists on this album, man. You know, obviously your boy Maestro from way back, like we said, Younger, and Juggernaut. I love Juggernaut, wicked. Man. I think he's like the UK Rock Moss. Knots is always and has always and keeps on representing. Yes, 100%. He's crazy. You know, you got Defenders of the Style, you know, Britain Kane, another one that people should look out for. He's a very great artist. And obviously your boy Jess is on there, Kashmir. So, you know, I love how you balance between, you know, people that you grew up with and people that are doing it now, you know what I mean? So it's a great project. I'm going to play Elephant Bones, if you don't mind.
Juggernaut.
Pick up the Juggernaut, man.
Flying down the M1. Yo, not even late. I told the promoter Vaseline the stage. I'm just gonna slide up. I'm gonna slide on 10:30 on the dot. Nuts. Big drugs crooner, moonwalking on the grand piano. Double shot espresso with the pano. Anything I can know. Cappuccino, camo, polo, cargo short, pocket ammo. iPod nano, ice my knee. I might stop the Lambo. Cenobite chains, hooks, hands and legs. Hellraiser, Fraser. Tossed salad and scrambled eggs. Kelsey Grammer with Chelsea. She grab a sledgehammer. Tea with toast, turkey, cheese slice or the red jammer. Bedrock, Big Fred with the dino rib. Diana Ross when I ad-lib. Mango pip. Gucci bangle with the Belgian chain. Knots classics. Orange TNs with the black Pradas. Fantastic. Gymnastics, I'm the thorn in the foot of this talentless sports. There's no sauce in your court. There's no pep in your walk. You're all Pepe Le Pew. You're more interested in the view. You're not invested in you. Get it together. Restaurant with my wrist and I wish the root. Sister Sledge living on the edge cause I miss the root. I miss the truth, I miss the pen and ink. Paper and print, pacing and thinking, put my face in the wind. I'm done. Out the window of the moving train, pray for a tree. Remove my brain, I'll take the stage for a fee. Knowledge the key, one locks, white supremacy. 100,000 other doors to the enemy. They want the end of me, I mirror their faults. They stay screwed while I don't fit. I'm true to the boss. Jokes, I'm the leader of a code don't conform. Cause being normal's boring, being bored is a norm. Normal sex ain't porn, mode alone, then I best perform. The best rapper breathing, windsurfing when I test the storm. The tornado to these light showers. You bury 15 minutes of fame while I'm quiet hour. Fight power, the bulldozer to your ivory tower. The bulldozer to your ivory tower. Ivory keys, mahogany tones. In the graveyard of humans, I'm the elephant bones. The bulldozer to your ivory tower. The bulldozer to your ivory tower. Ivory keys, mahogany tones. In the graveyard of humans, I'm the elephant bones.
Flow sound peculiar, the North Star rocking the star bars for sure. We are tuned in to 0.6 on the radio. The scale shaking the ground, it's the same old scallywag rapper burn a flag. Got the manner from the alleyways, the caveman swinging clock bangers. It's standard that I'm banging the drums. Call me hooligan, one man. The slang of time as I beat drop around, drink spill a killer man. Amsterdam spliff bill, I hold it top, pull it back, real selector. From the days you got buried in a rave, mate. 6 feet deep cemetery grave, mate. Okie dokie, I came from the era when the dance was cookie. Smoke filled rooms with the thieves and junkies. Make you get Paris, so your throat was lumpy. And you might be the prize with the same old grief at the end of the night with the same old chiefs who were causing a fuss and a fight. And there might be a cipher outside with the same old rapper all drunk in your ear with the same old flow he's been using for years.
Yeah, like 1, 2, yeah. Check it out.
It's the wildest one from the west, rising up from the depths with the signs of someone possessed. Go find your gun, you realize with sudden regret and decide it's time you run when this tiger's hunting your flesh. Beware the giant, you silence none of his steps. It might feel like it's thunder when mice is thumping his chest. Line them up in the set, I'll tidy up all the mess. The hurricane swept in, just a pile of rubble was left. Think you're rugged cause you tuck a ratchet, but put it down and you're as fluffy as a bunny rabbit. So double back because it's just a fact. They only say the scene's dead cause you're rapping that shit like a hungry maggot. Fresh from the sewers, you can smell the manure. Have you shit in your bed cause you're thinking there's some intruders. I'm in your den with the crew plus some chicks we met from Bermuda. Like listen, lend me your room in the kitchen blending Kahlúas. Still the same, still insane, and with his ways been a shame, man. Mixed with Rain Man in his Ray-Ban, still deranged in this wasteland. Switch a blade and give a shake with the same hand.
Yo, £10 Bag Anthem by My Stiggy Maestro. Before that, we played Same Old Flows by my guest Farma. And then we had Elephant Bones with Juggernaut. And what was the name of the saxophone? The saxophone?
Soweto Kinch.
Soweto Kinch, okay.
He is listen, he's a guy where like big orchestra, like stupid big orchestra, like the Philharmonic Orchestra, they come to him and he did some mad, like he does the maddest creative, like you got, if you don't know him, look him up. Sure. Because it's like I'm not too into like jazz and whatnot. Yeah. And I know like that's crazy when like hip hop producers say they're not so into jazz, but Soweto is he's from Birmingham, and he's so talented. Like,
Birmingham.
Yeah. Like
Soweto.
Give him a follow and see the kind of stuff he does, because
yeah, for sure.
I know you'll connect with it. He's not a hip hoppy guy, but he raps. He's got mad. He produces, plays the sax like. Okay.
Shout
Yeah.
out to
Soweto Kinch, man. Thanks, Soweto Kinch.
I'm gonna check him out, man.
And he said he was across the album as well.
Yeah. So he so what I try to do with these. So I'm on my second volume of it now, and it's in the mix and master stages. But what I try to do is get an instrumentalist or someone who plays a musical instrument and kind of just give it a little bit of fluidity, and sometimes the sampling just gets a little bit rigid, even if no one else can hear it. After the 1000th time I've listened to it, I start thinking I need to add something to this thing because it sounds terrible. You know what I mean?
Okay, so that's a process that you like. Do you have, like, I know you make music every day. Yeah. You're always in the lab. You're working. You know, like a musical hermit.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, that's how it goes, man. That's you know. What is it? You got any projects that you can mention that you're working on right now?
Yeah. So the £10 Bag Volume 2.
Sure.
That is. Let me think who's on there. Definitely. Wow. Lots of very good people. Lots of good people are on there. I went a little bit more for the newer guys. Yeah. There is a couple. I've got Pavan from the Foreign Beggars is going to make an appearance on there.
That's my
guy. There is a couple of older cornerstones of the art. You know what I mean? Just to make sure that it doesn't like completely sink. Yeah. But the new guys are representing. What else have I got going on? I've got an album with Jest in the works. That's, I love that. Shout out to Jest, man. He's actually really speeding through it, man. So that's a touch, because it's always been a bit of a bucket list thing for me to do with him. Him being one of our better, one of the best. Yeah, I would say definitely. Yeah. Consistent as well. Yeah. So he's kept it up. Yeah, hasn't stopped. Throughout the years, always putting out bangers. Sonny Jim. Big up Sonny Jim. I've got I don't know if it's going to be an album or an EP, but it's in the works. Whatever it turns out to be. I got something with Harry Shotter, who's big up Harry Shotter, man. Drum and bass. Yeah, but he used to rap too. He was a rapper. Yeah, he was a rapper as well. That's where I know him from. Okay, yeah. Who else? I've got a project with Kashmir. Sick. That I'm working on. Man. Big up Kashmir, man. And a project with Illaman. Okay. Which is the surprise one. I mean, when you hear the names, it's like you did it yourself. You went, Illaman. Okay. Yeah. But Illa's tracks, like, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're definitely gonna, because he's got a skippy kind of skippy kind of flow, 140 BPM kind of rap weird. It's a bit of a hybrid flow. Yeah. So he's taking these kind of 140 hip hop beat, like like how the Griselda style, Derringer style beats.
Yeah.
He's taken that and he's running with it on a different level, and it's powerful. So maybe we'll be creating history with like this new odd kind of hybrid of sound.
A new genre will be born.
Yeah, but Illiman's smashing it. But yeah, I'm really excited about all of them.
Glad to hear that,
projects.
Man. What about Chester, man? How's things with Chester, man?
Man, I don't even know what to say.
Okay.
I mean,
one of the best, bro.
But you know, as yourself, as blood brothers, it supersedes anything to do with anything.
Of course.
Entertaining.
Absolutely.
It's like it goes much deeper. So
Yeah,
like the stuff that me and him have to deal with or sort out wherever and however down the line is it's just one of them things, you know. It's sad, man, but we've both got different paths, and we share the path, which is quite rare.
Yeah.
You know, it's usually got to do with a profession when brothers stick together the way we have, especially we're not necessarily the same age. Like I said, he's very immature and I'm totally manned up.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, I love him to bits, man.
Of course, man.
I love, he's always going to be my little brother, but it's like there's a lot in the way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure anyone who's followed Farmer and Chester's journey and done all the social media behind it and all the rest of it know probably more than I do, because I can't focus in on, but he's off it now, thankfully. But yeah, the whole social media thing, I don't think was, I expressed my opinion about social media to my brother many times.
Sure.
And insisted and tried to encourage him to come off it. And he finally has. And
hopefully that does him good, man, because that place can be a really sunken place where you just really, a ball of negativity can really just take over, man. And sometimes
there's a
coming
lot,
off them
lot.
things are the best.
Yeah.
The best things for you, you know.
I mean, we as humans we go through stages of life, and we find ourselves in many different places. Some great and some really dark and miserable. And I've been personally caught in parts and times of life where it's been dim, and fear and paranoia are like the leading, the stronger factors in them moments. And
sure.
It's the worst. And if you can't find your way out of those moments,
but they have to do it for themselves, though.
you do have to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
The thing is honesty. You know what I've found out in my. I met my wife, and she is the change.
I love that.
I couldn't possibly put it any more.
I love that for you, my brother. I love that for you.
I never knew that because I've always been a misogynist, a sexist.
No, he's being real,
honesty.
man. He's being real.
I'm being real too with my reaction.
Yeah, that's right. I was a horrid man who
You
was.
seem better now, though.
Thank you, and that like I say, that I would put on the emphasis on meeting someone as special as the lady that I am.
Sure.
Sharing my life with and our children and stuff. And if you can't find someone to be honest to you, like, and it's difficult when you're someone that people want to hang out with, or like girls who haven't got enough respect for themselves, or men that haven't got enough respect for themselves, come to you with this whole all right, cool. It's like yes men. They call it yes men, right?
Yeah.
When you have that around you all the time, it can become very difficult. It can become difficult if you don't like yourself.
Yeah.
But loads of people like you and put you on a pedestal and idolize.
It's not real.
It's so confusing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's so confusing for me.
It's like a false validation.
It's completely, you're lost.
But you're also, what's the word? Observant. You know what's going on, though, right?
Not if you get lost in it.
Really?
Yeah, because
you as well.
Imagine if you're like, as a child, I was shy. I still am very shy. As Robin, my government name. My mum and dad named me Robin. I was very shy, and I maintain that persona. That's who I am naturally. And to be a person who can jump on a stage to 1,000 odd extra people and become someone completely different, who can command that crowd, and look each and every one of them in the eye without any kind of doubt, right? And then come off and be like,
it's weird though, with creatives, isn't it? It's weird that a lot of creatives are generally shy,
very retiring,
but,
and shy,
but they can demand the crowd, or they can perform in front of millions of people, and
but then
but when you're in real life,
add in the mix, psychotics, hallucinogenics, weed, excessive weed, right, alcohol, narcotic, like I say, the cocaines and all the different things. Right, you add in all of them to the mix, right? When I was 12, 13 years old or whatever, I started burning my first bit of red seal or my gold seal, some ash or whatever, and then some weed. My mind, I knew straight away that this is, I like this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it made me paranoid.
Sure.
Even as a 12, 13-year-old, I was straight away, it was like, ooh, I'm in a zone, like, and I'd walk with my head down, and this is where you get caught up. And so my personality, I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
Because I'd become someone else. And then I started feeling like I'm like schizophrenic, because I don't actually know, I don't like that person, but I don't like that person. So I've got two personas. So then I became one person, and then I'd be very abusive and mistreat everyone and take it for granted.
Yeah. And
then have the person on the other end of that, when the repercussions come, who'd be like, oh, but I didn't mean it. I'm just a nice person, really. Like, I don't really mean to be. And that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So when I met my missus, she was just like, I don't know who you are. I don't give a shit what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's you're either going to be nice to me, or you could just see you later.
What's her name?
Her name's Philippa.
You got Philippa, man.
Her name's Philippa, and she was my boss. And she's a huge community leader, and she's worked with children who are like seriously upset children, and now she's a social worker, and she's Family Justice Centre of Innovation, and all these mad titles that she's dropping. But she's
shout out to Philippa.
She puts it on me every day. Like, I'll say something, she'll look at me and like, that's not all right.
Yeah.
But that kind of sounds, remember, I've just met you for the first time today. You actually have that energy yourself. Like, you see everything, you hear everything. So she's just telling you, and she's reacting to what she's seeing. I've
got some very bad habits. You know, you grow and you're around certain people. Just being a bad person.
Oh, I see.
So I grew up robbing people. I grew up like with violence and aggressive street robberies and
understand
doing the whole thing, and as well as like just the juggle of what my mum and dad, you would have classed them as hippies. They would have called themselves hippies, right? So it's like, I hate hippies. I hate what they stand for, because all it is an excuse to like just sit down and do shit.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Unless these hippies are getting up and going getting a job and bringing it and looking after their kids, we weren't looked after.
Okay.
Right?
Fair enough.
My dad, he would have found his little tub of ash, and he would have noticed that half of it's gone. So you know what the solution was? Obviously, I was taking the spliffs. I was chipping away at it.
Yeah.
So you know what the solution was? Let me teach this boy how to sell, right, the hash, so then he can either keep the money, right? But it weren't like it weren't an abusive parent thing. But when you think of it like that now, because I think to myself, all right, so I was a 12-year-old.
You only know what you know, so you're not going to think of yourself in that way.
Who were they thinking I was going to sell it to?
Yeah.
I don't know, but that
other
sounds wild to me.
Yeah.
Other
kids,
13-year-olds. What kind of
corruption
is that? That's mad.
Yeah, that's sad.
But I always used to think my parents were like right on.
Yeah.
That's why, like I say, hippies, they can do one. But yeah, so on the thing with my brother, I love him to bits. I can't foresee the future with that one. I just hope that he gets well and looks after himself.
Absolutely. We were thinking, we got a love for Chester, man. And
for real.
Me as a my personal stance, I would love to see you guys making music again together, man, for sure, man. It'd be great to have you guys back on board doing that. But obviously, yes. Man.
I don't think that's gonna
I know. I saw your reaction when I said that.
No, it's not that. It's like.
Yeah. Okay.
You got a brother, man. You know.
I know.
You know.
I got
even
4 brothers.
Even though you're probably close with your brother.
Yeah, we are close. Yeah. But there was a time I was so 2 of my brothers, K-Night and Mentalist, are my brothers. And we were in a rap group with Loudmouth and my boy Pyro. We were called Quarantine.
Yeah, I remember.
And so we dropped 1 EP, and then we were trying to make an album, and the creative process of that was just, it was abysmal because everybody was in different, Loud was stressing out with job security. My brother K-Night was stressing out about wanting to do something different. We just couldn't get on. We booked a couple of studio sessions, had a few songs done that never came out, to be honest. So I know what you mean. It's just, creatively, it doesn't always align. Farm, I want to thank you so much for coming today, man.
Thank you for blessing me.
I want to give you your flowers because you deserve it, you and your brother. Shout out to Taskforce, shout out to you, Farmer, because you're still doing your thing, you're killing it, your beats, I know you say that it's still stripped down and you think you haven't really changed, but I think you have changed. I think, yes, the beats are still very much the sound of what it was back in the day, but it's still up to date, and it's kind of correlating to what hip-hop is sounding like today in those states like Baltimore and New York. And
Thank you.
So you have evolved, brother. I love what you do, man. Keep doing your thing, man. I'm always going to support you. And this obviously, it'd be great for you and I to do something as well, selfishly. Of course. Yeah, selfishly, a little plug.
Bro, come on the £10 bag. Let's do that.
I'll be on it. I'll be honoured. I'll be honoured, bro.
What about getting all of you on it?
Yeah, all right. I'll talk to them.
How many can we get?
I think I could.
Who would be up for it?
What I am, I'm kind of like the guy in between that could probably bring everyone together. I'm like Nick Fury in Avengers. I don't know
if you want to do it yourself, we'll do it just you. If you want,
I like the team too. I think the team would be great over a farmer production. Yeah, let's make this happen, man. Let's invoice.
I take 10%.
We'll invoice the team.
I'm
obviously, our farmer needs to get paid, so he'll get. He's not struggling money.
You're a businessman now.
Yeah, he's definitely
a friend of everything you've said. You've been a businessman.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't
a young hustler.
That. No, it is.
That's the difference.
No, you're a businessman.
Yeah, but you know your worth, and that's what's important. I think a lot of people need to learn that too. I think the generation today definitely does.
They need to.
I think the generation today definitely does. I think
microwave music.
From farmer's era and my era, which is obviously 2 different eras, but I feel like there was a lot of second guessing. You have the ones who obviously knew their worth and made sure that they got to certain stages and made sure they got paid. But I think a lot of people, like myself, I do it for the love. You know what I mean? I don't really do it for much financial gain. Probably a negative. I don't know.
No, it's not a negative. I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm not gaining much financially these times.
Sure.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
If anything I'm gaining is through like private beat sales.
Sure.
That's where I make my crust.
And do you sell drums as well, like drum kits? And
No. I sell beats. Any old random guys, like how much is a beat? I say, boom, this is how much it is. Oh,
yeah, I buy
there
it.
you go. Thank you very much.
Standard.
Sometimes I make flipping loads. Sometimes I make nothing.
Yeah, that's how it is creatively, man. I know the struggle.
Exactly.
Man.
You know how it is.
I know how it is. All right, man. For anyone that wants to find you, for where they can find you, can you please plug your socials for me, please, Father? If you want to, that is.
I don't even know. You know, the easiest way to do it is just go on Google and write Farma G. That's it. You can't get easier than that.
Let's see if I can find this.
If I don't come up first, then I'm gonna have to chat to Google about it.
Father, thank you so much for joining, man.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you again for joining as well.
Thank you.
Always.
We'll be back with more episodes of Skillits World.
Thank you for blessing the show today. We learned so much more about London music history today. So thank you.
No,
thank you, Farmer, man. This one is produced by Farmer. It's called Come Get With Me with Conway the Machine. Let's go.
What's up, homie? Let me talk my shit. High grade is all that I smoke. Big checks, yeah, my income on a high gross. Grinding like I ain't trying to die broke. That's why I ended last year on a high note. Diss me in your songs, you just wrote your suicide note. Scoring on the ops like Embiid on a high post. I keep a shooter with me, that's a side note. 12 gauge in his pants, walking like a star broke. If it's an issue, bitch, that's not an issue. We ain't squashing nothing, boy, I gotta get you. Talk that gangster shit, but you ain't never shot a pistol. We gon' hit your body with a lot of missiles. Got shooters in Baltimore and they got a whistle. You always rapping about your gun, hope you got it with you. I don't rap beef, that's not official. I let a shot out of the chopper hit you. Yeah, I'm on my grind, bitch, I'm on my grizzly. I keep it tall with you, keep it 100 with me. I'm in the hood near you, bet you my gun is with me. You know where to find me at, my nigga, come get with me. Yeah, I'm on my grind, bitch, I'm on my crystals. I keep it tall with you, keep it 100 with me. I'm in the hood near you, bet you my gun is with me. You know where to find me at, my nigga, come get with me. Trying to stack my money tall as the Eiffel Tower. Used to get the blocks in Atlanta like the Dwight Howard. I watch Power while I light sour. See Keisha and dream about me fucking the lights out. Fuck her for a light hour. We dropped the hardest shit this year and they still trying to slight ours. Rifle is high powered, you might cower. Hide behind something when I fire mines, fucker. Yeah. Empty out the whole clip. Went to a hole from a split, making O's flip. I put a hole in you quick, we was on shit. All summer long, had the stove lit. My little niggas out of control. G riding and Fiend Reynolds, he got his pole. G riding and Fiend Reynolds, we got the pole. We riding on any nigga, we locking low, motherfuckers. I'm on my grind, bitch, I'm on my grizzly. I keep it tall with you, keep it 100 with me. I'm in the hood near you, bet you my gun is with me. You know where to find me at, my nigga, come get with me. I'm on my grind, bitch, I'm on my grizzly. I keep it tall with you, keep it 100 with me. I'm in the hood near you, bet you my gun is with me. You know where to find me at, my nigga, come get with me.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
This is Terry Tobin, and you're listening.